All right, we're live. Tapping Birdie, Valspar Championship with Luke sweated out. You texted me before. I wasn't gonna drink tonight. Just I want to put it out there for the people. Was not gonna booze tonight. I'm going to John Mayer tomorrow. I'm gonna get wasted. But I had some Delos from this weekend, so I got some Delos. You have one too. Did you just have them ready to go?
Yeah, I always have Modelo's ready to go. I mean, that's just I didn't think that needed to be discussed, but I'm glad I was able to peer pressure you into having one with me.
Yeah, it'll be
I
okay. So
I
you're a
can't hop
fan
on
of
a podcast
delis?
and not drink
So
beer, man.
cheers to you, man.
Cheers, bud.
Do you need it with a lime?
I'm not a lime guy.
See, like I
Not
I
around
was
Modelo.
posting my beers on vacation, and the beers there are like pretty bland. So I'm like, need it with a lime. I posted and people are like, dude, like, what are you doing putting a lime in your beer? Like, that's mad beta. Like, that's mad gay. Like, fellas, is it gay to make your beer taste better? Like, I don't think it is,
It's
personally.
not. It's not. Limes are not gay. Fruit's not gay. But I've said before, this is the perfect beer.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be messed with. I think that the folks over at Modelo, they got the recipe right, and so I just stick with the way they produce it.
One thing I will say about Delos is that they do have a lot of calories.
Ooh,
So if you're just like I used to just like get a 12er and like pound them for the night, and then yeah. So I like a Delo like on a standard night, like just a couple drinks. But yeah, love Delos. They're great. They're great with the lime. One of my favorite beers. I'm a high noon guy, obviously, but I know
oh
you're a big red wine guy. No, you're not sipping on some vino tonight?
no, when you said you were going with the deli, I was like, I'll just match that. I got them. I got
Okay.
them
You're
in the
good.
fridge. I'm good to go. Yeah, normally I'd go with a nice red wine. I'll probably pour some after this with dinner. Um, Yeah, but beer and wine, I just keep it simple. I
Yeah.
don't really get into the seltzers. I stay away from the hard liquor. My family on my mother's side is native. My mom grew up on an Indian reservation, and she always tells me, we gave away this entire country thanks to whiskey. So I
Yeah.
definitely stay away from the whiskey.
Yeah.
You
No.
know,
No
I'm,
bueno.
yeah, this
No
stuff this
bueno.
won't get you in trouble, other than maybe
No,
the
it will
calories.
not. It will not at all.
Yeah.
So, how has the golf season kind of gone for you this year? How has 2023 been? I know as a lot of golf bettors are a little bit frustrated with how things have turned out, but have you been enjoying 2023? Like, is there reason to panic? Like, what are your overall thoughts on this year?
So I think, like most people, not winning a ton because we as bettors are not typically backing, the favorites, the single digit guys, and it's like with Rom and Scotty seemingly winning every time they tee it up. Um, it makes it a lot harder for people like us who like to build a nice balanced card. You know, if you hit Kitayama, I mean, that was really the only
Yeah.
one in like the big events that wasn't a Rom or Scotty, right? And then some of these other ones, the Siwoos, the Kirks, I
Yeah.
was able to be on Kirk. That was good, but so it's been decent. I've hit a couple of winners, enough to keep me in the positive
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just tiring to see Scotty and Rom, and it's like, at what point do we just like throw our hands up and be like, "Fuck it, I'm backing these two idiots, and hopefully they win, and you'll probably win." I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's tough because the way I look at it, there were really only like four outrights you really could have been on this year.
Right.
Homa, Kirk, Siwoo, and Homa, Kirk, Siwoo, and
Kitayama,
Rose, and
theoretically,
Rose, and
Rose. Yeah.
Rose. Like
Yeah.
there were only like four winners in like kind of the range that like everyone really bets.
Right.
So if you weren't like, I think most people were on like one of those. You were lucky enough to be on two of them. But like if you weren't on, at least one or two of those, which is tough out of 2 out of 4 of like really hittable bets, like it's just tough. Like
Yeah.
it's really tough. And like it's hard to like kind of go back and put up all this money every week to bet on. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking to it. Like we'll be okay. But it just it's a little frustrating. And at least like Scotty, when he went on that run last year, like he won it like he won at bettable odds. Like it wasn't like crazy.
He was like 30 plus for Phoenix, and
then he was like 18-1 for the rest of his wins. Like we
right.
bet a guy's 18-1. Like you could bet that. But for like this year, like him just being like 11, like Rom winning everything, like it's just tough. Do you think that it will like even out?
Dude, I don't know, man. I mean, because even if you look at a couple of these other ones, right? Like, you know, Kirk winning at 25-30-1, like in that field, he was one of the best players, right? And so many people didn't bet it because it's like we see Kirk at 80, 100 most weeks. So at 30, it's hard to stomach, but the good players are winning. So like, we'll talk about this when we get into the board, because that's kind of how I'm approaching this week. It's like, man, maybe I should just stop betting losers. Like bet guys who are good. You know, even if the prices are not what I wish they were. Like if you're sitting there on Sunday morning with a 25-1 ticket on a guy when he's, you know, in the live odds 3 or 4-1, like that's a good, you'd like to be in that position, right? Even if it's someone you wish you would bet at 50, like you'll be happy to have the 20 come Sunday if they're there. So, you know, it just seems like golf is in this position where the good guys are just winning every week, like, regardless of the event. So that's just kind of
and like I'm with you. Like events like this, you can't be like, this is a horrible price for Keegan Bradley or Tommy Fleetwood. Right. Like, you just gotta bet him. Like in this field, Chris Kirk was like a quote unquote horrible price at the Honda, but like he wasn't. Like the way he was playing the Florida history, like it really was not a bad price. You just had to bet him there. So that's where like this week, like we have an opportunity to hit a winner. Like we're live to hit a winner. And that's why I was upset by not being on Kirk, was that it was a very like bettable, like it was an easy play to be on, like because like we're not going to get that many winners. We haven't gotten that many like hittable winners this year, so you got to capitalize. So this week, I mean, got to capitalize.
This is a week where Rom and Scotty are not here, so like you said, we got to capitalize, man.
No. Also later in the show, we're going to be talking some March Madness, some brackets. I asked you to come on this week like a while ago, but like I'm just such a good host, like I just knew like it would be perfect, like it would just the way the timing. So are you ready to talk some CBB later?
Dude, you know it. I'm ready to talk. You got some bets in the middle, at the end. I'm
sure you have like some futures.
We can. So I've bet some futures. I'd be happy to like talk about futures that I think, you know, like for people who haven't made any futures, I think there's still some numbers out there that are
there's
worth
some value
betting.
There's some plus EVs plays.
I think so. And then even some like some regional odds that I think are decent.
Okay.
I know you're a big first half unders. Did you already cash this first ticket?
No.
Dude, Southeast Missouri State versus Texas A&M.
Wasn't even close. Christi. Did you bet it?
Oh yeah, you know I bet it. It cashed.
Are we just riding it? Are we just doing
points. We're doing it.
We're just doing it.
We got to do
every single.
I mean, the books are hip to it, but it seems like even they can adjust it, right? Like they're not cutting the full game total in half. They're like cutting it in half -5 or whatever.
Wow.
And it's
every game
still cashing with ease. So you just got to do it, man.
Yeah, I don't like. I've Venmo'd my bookie a lot recently, and like not even. I had a bad week last week, but like before that, I had some good weeks and stuff. Like it's just hard for me to like justify like betting a few hundred on golf outrights that are like 99% like gonna lose, and then like bet like a bunch of other sports. Like it's just tough. Like when you were like feeding me Big East winners, like it was fun. Like I don't know. Like I would usually on a normal game throw 50. Like right. I don't have the balls to throw 50 on every single. Like I would throw like 20. I can't do a full unit on every first half.
No, man, no, and I'm certainly not going to do that either.
You don't condone that.
As much as I would love to bet, $50, $100 on every first round game, first half, and the total, or and the side, whatever. Like, you should only bet things that you have an edge betting, right? You don't have to, because a lot of this is for fun.
It's for fun. It's for fun.
Especially golf, outrights and shit.
Yes.
So like, but I'm gonna try to be pretty selective with my first and second round, at least first round like sides. But there's a couple out there that I think are pretty good, and we'll get into that when I kind of talk about like my approach to my like bracket, because that's the other thing, is we all got our brackets.
Yeah.
And that gives you enough like skin in the game, enough action to kind of quench the thirst. So you don't need to bet every single game. You can, but you don't.
Yeah. So in terms of golf this week, like I sent out a tweet earlier, like, where does Valspar like kind of like rank on you are a full PGA Tour hardo, like you love the PGA Tour, like you like different events, like I consider you someone like I trust, obviously. The Valspar does not do it for me. I don't know what it is. It's not the field. It's not like, oh, it's a shitty field, I don't like this event. Like I like the PGA Tour enough. But for whatever reason, like I was more excited for like the Honda. Like I felt like there was more like hype around like the Honda than this week. I think there's many factors. I think being on, after two elevated events before match play, I just think like the amount of great events we've had already this season, I think everyone's just kind of like waiting for Augusta, like after the Players. And I'm not a huge golf course guy. The course does nothing for me. Like, I don't think the course is like interesting at all. Like, I can't name, there's not like one memorable hole. Like, every hole seems exactly the same to me on this course. And I think the fact that the past 4 years there's only been 2 different winners, that adds to it. So, like, yeah, I'm betting it, but I'm not super hyped for the Valspar. Like, where's your temperature on the Valspar?
So I think you nailed it with the right. In the last 5 years, there's only actually been 4 Valspars, I think, right? Because we had a canceled one.
Yeah.
And there's only been 2 winners. So I think that feeds into it a lot. Golf, like betting, and the golf community has really picked up in the last couple of years. So we, as a golf community, we've only really known Paul Casey and Sam Burns for this event, right? I'm with you there. It's also the last of the Florida events.
Yeah.
We've had a 4-week Florida, and I think that everybody kind of agrees that PGA National is a super fun course. Like it produces a super fun event.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to compete with API or the Players.
Yeah.
And then to come off that high of API, Players, and even Honda, so 3, like it does seem like it's the little brother of the 4 Florida events. And then you also mentioned that what is coming after this is much bigger. We fall on the same weekend as the first week of the NCAA tournament. So like it makes sense why it would be, not the most hyped event. And I'm kind of with you on the course. I think it's a fine course. It's not in the top 5, 10, 15 that we play all year. But what I'm excited about is something we touched on earlier, is just like we have an opportunity to actually win some money this week because fucking Scotty and Rama. So
no, if someone like we'll talk to our guys, like if someone like obvious wins and I was thinking about it, I'm not on him, I'm gonna be really, really upset. But it'll be okay. Hopefully, we'll hit a winner. It'll be okay. So yeah, we could get into it. We could get into the board. Again, I don't think this is really the week to do it, but JT and Jordy are both 12-1, Fitz 16, Burns 18. 0 shot. Burns wins 3 years in a row. Like he has 0 chance to win. Fitz injured, not winning. JT, something's up. Something's up with JT. He's not doing it. I know he's your guy. Out on JT, out on Spieth. Like, I'm good on these 4. Who do you like the most? Who do you like the least out of these 4 at the top?
So JT, everybody knows I've been betting this goddamn bozo every week the last, basically since 2023 started. The ball striking is so good. It's so good. And like you watch him hit these shots and you're just like, that's fucking stupid good. Hits it from 197 yards to 4 feet. And then he doesn't even sniff the hole on the 4th hole. It's the putter that's letting him down. It's atrocious. And Spieth is kind of in the same boat. He's like prone to these just horrific misses. I think Spieth lost close to three strokes putting on the last 5 holes at API. Like,
did you have him?
I did. I had a live ad that I didn't tweet out.
Wow.
But I had him
live ad on Jordy.
Pretty respectable. I think got a 25 on him.
That was tilting. That was tilting.
Yeah,
that was really tough.
All he had to do was make some 4-footers or 5-footers and like
wins.
And so I'm out on either of those guys at the price. Burns, as I go through the stats and I go through everything, like he pops hard, and it's easy to understand why he's won twice in a row here, but 3 times,
no, not happening.
Not happening. I love Fitz.
You're in on Fitz.
I think I'm like 90% on Fitz. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I've got a 17 that I'm staring at.
Do you think it will go up at Circa tomorrow?
I think at Circa we could get a little drift. 18, 19, maybe 20 at Circa. I'm thinking, and I'll probably pull it at 17 if that's the best I can get. But we are going to have a very windy Valspar, super windy. I think it's been well documented what the rough looks like. It's normally a like 3-inch rough, and they're closer to 4 inches of rough this year. Everything about this course screams Fitz, and like we talked about earlier, man, good players are winning golf tournaments. So like
top 10 here last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Fitz is almost certainly going to be a play. I'm a wind split guy.
Yeah, love it.
The advantage, I believe, will be PM AM.
I'm with you.
You don't want to play Friday afternoon, and he got the PM AM. So
okay.
Fitz is talking to me.
All right, I love it. I think it's a good bet. 17, 18 to 1. I'm glad you're in on that. No, I
just won the U.S. Open, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, he could do it. Yeah, no, I was looking at the win. Like it not only is horrible Friday afternoon, it dies down Thursday afternoon.
Yep, it's
gonna
like
be
they start windier and then it gets calm.
And honestly, I was looking through because I was trying to find some guys to bet. Like, there's not really that many good guys in PMAM,
right?
But one guy I did bet, some guy I was like circling that I wanted to bet, but I wasn't really sure. And then I looked at the weather, and he's in PMAM. I bet Justin Rose at 25 to 1.
Great number.
I got the 25. I got it on a local book. I endorsed the 22. Like that's totally fine. I think the biggest like reason as to like why he wouldn't win is because he just won Pebble. But I don't really see that with him. Like I think he could rattle off 2 wins pretty close. 6th place at the Players last week, gained 8.9 tee to green. And again, he's someone you kind of want on more difficult conditions, I think. And I just really like the way he played last week. Obviously, won a Pebble, was playing well before that. 2 missed cuts in between. Hasn't played this event much. He's played it a while ago, but he played it well. And I just think he could kind of do it again. And I really think that if the weather, I'm hoping it's a huge wave advantage because hopefully our guys would have a big leg up. But yeah, I'm in on Rose at 25. I think it's a good play. And then like we're kind of talking, I believe you should have someone of Rose, Hadwin, Keegan, Fleetwood. Like you should bet one of these guys on your card. This is, again, kind of a Chris Kirk situation. Hadwin, Keegan, and Fleetwood at 25. They are not quote unquote good numbers, but I think relative to the field, they're totally fine. Are you betting any of these 3?
So I'm almost certainly going to end up on Rose as well, which makes for a pretty stuffed card taking 2 guys this low. But like you mentioned, Rose coming off of a win not that long ago doesn't really scare me either. Don't forget, Justin Rose was world number 1 not too long ago. What, 4 or 5 years ago? Less than that. Justin Rose was world number 1. Dude can win twice.
He can do it. He's got Ryder Cup narrative.
He's got the Ryder Cup thing going for him. Pebble was very windy.
Yes.
He hits long irons really well. He plays in the wind really well. There's nothing about this particular week in this event that shows me that Justin Rose can't win, especially because this field is just not that strong.
Yeah.
You know, I think that if Rose hadn't gone on his little Hanma, you know, golf club expedition and like gotten rid of TaylorMade's, like, I don't know that he would have ever dropped off to the level that he did. I think he had a huge equipment problem. And I think he's gotten that all sorted out pretty well. So I love Justin Rose. I'm same thing with Fitzpatrick. I'm waiting on a little bit of drift on the number, see if I can get better than 22, but I like that number. Keegan and Hadwin were the other two you mentioned. Like, I don't have a lot that I can say in the negative other than just like I have to take a stand, right?
Yeah.
And everything I'm looking at, Rose pops pretty hard. And then Fleetwood is the other one that, like, everything I look at, every stat I look at, or every condition, every course history, whatever I look at, I can't get Fleetwood to disappear.
But he can't win, like legitimately cannot win.
Well, history tells us he cannot, right? Because
he can't, like, legitimately cannot win in the US.
No, he can't do it. And I mean, last week he set himself up pretty well to be one of the chasers. You know, no one was gonna catch Scotty, but he didn't even come close.
Like, yeah, like second hole, like ejected. 115 out, like makes a bogey.
Immediately ejected. Like, yeah. So that one, I think that one would be the easiest one to cross off, just because it's like, well, how many times are we gonna sink our money into this fucking loser? You know,
have you bet? Like, are you like a Fleetwood guy? Like, have you bet him a lot?
I have bet a little bit of Fleetwood recently. I've always been a Fleetwood guy. I think everybody's a Fleetwood guy. But at 25-1 for a guy who's got, I mean, he's got to have a couple, I don't know, what has he got? 100, 125 PGA starts? Like, he's got a lot, man. He's never won.
Yeah. It's not even like Chris Kirk was 25-1. Like,
right.
He won like 4 or 5 times, like, on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Tommy just can't.
I'm a little worried because, like, right now, like, I don't really think I can bet Keegan. Like, Keegan's like kind of my guy. He's one of my favorite golfers on tour. Hit him at the Zozo. So, like, it's hard for me to be like down money on Keegan. Had that runner-up finish to Sam Burns, kind of shit all over himself on Sunday. Was very popular at the Players. Like, I'm a hypocrite. Like, I'm a hypocrite. I want to say it. I don't know if Keegan's going to win twice this year. Like, he probably got his win. Again, hypocrite for betting Justin Rose again. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if Keegan's going to, like, win twice in, like, 1 year. Like, I think this is a great course for him. Like, I do think he'll bounce back well off that missed cut. No water here. But it's just tough. I mean, missed the cut here last year. Like, it's not like Keegan is, just going to, like, he'll be there on Sunday. Like, I don't think he's really a golfer. You can say that. But he is my guy, and I wouldn't want him to win if I wasn't on him because I've bet him, like, a bunch of times this year. But at, like, 60-1.
Dude, skinny Keegan is kind of a different beast, right? Like,
he's just a different dude.
He clearly lost some. Like, he's clearly in better shape, and he's been better so far this season than he's been in a very long time. So, like, I can't knock the Keegan. Stat wise, he rates out really well. Theoretically, everything should be coming up Keegan, but you can't bet every single guy.
Yeah, can't do it. I bet 3 guys in the 40s, kind of just fired them off. I might cash out one. I never really condone cashing out bets because there's literally nothing in the world worse than like cashing out a bet and like have them make a deduction. Have you ever had a situation like that where you bet somebody and you cashed it out for some reason and they didn't win, but like they were in contention or they won? Do you have any horror stories from that?
I don't. Nevada betting is a lot different than what has been, legalized in most states and stuff. So like cash out options are not a thing. I can't cash out a bet, man. Once they sell you that shit, they're like, peace, good luck.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So it's not an option I have. And even like the only equivalent would be like hedging a bet, right?
Yeah.
And on golf outrights, I typically don't hedge because I'm not betting enough money.
Your team no hedge.
I'm not betting enough money that it's going to change my life. If I if I threw down $100 on a 100-to-1 golfer, and he was in a playoff, right? Like, yeah, I might hedge that. That's, it's a couple mortgage payments. Like, but for the most part, it's just not worth it.
You're just right. Yeah, I do hedge. Like, I've said I do hedge to cover like my bets for the week.
Sure.
Like, I cover it. Like, I bet someone like $3,000. I'll hedge like for like $300, $400. Like, just so like I'm
not anti-hedge.
No, you're not anti-hedge.
No, absolutely not. Sometimes I bet on like I had a future a couple of years ago talking about NCAA tournament. I had a pretty decent sized Texas Tech future against Virginia. I was like, fuck it, I'm hedging this and I'm going to watch this stress-free national championship.
Was that the year they beat? That was like 2017, 2018.
It was what about 18 or 19, the year they lost to Virginia.
They beat Buffalo on their run?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that was that. Okay. So you hedged a little bit. That was great.
Yeah.
Do you have what, again, we're weaving it in. What is your best future that you feel best about right now?
I really, really like my 100-to-1 Marquette future.
What are those odds right now?
I think 28.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you're sharp, and like you're a Big East sharp.
I've also got a much bigger 35 on Marquette, and then I've got a 50-to-1 UConn that I like a lot. I think they're closer to the 18, 17 range right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you got some fucking CLV, dude. I'm happy for you.
On a couple of them, yeah.
I bet Justin Suh this week. I bet him at I think 40-to-1. The guy's playing some excellent golf. He's a Florida guy. Played well at Honda, played well at the Players. You're a Korn Ferry guy. He won the Korn Ferry finals last year. I like him in difficult conditions. Like, just great ball striker. I'm in. Windy C, my guy. I'm glad that people think he's my guy. I got to thank my boy Pat Mayo for that.
Well, now everybody calls him Windy C, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great nickname. Like,
I heard Bamford calling him Windy C today. I was like, man,
no way. I didn't know that. I don't listen. Let's go. That's huge. That's huge for the
big program. For the brand.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge you do nicknames too on your cards.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Windy C, like, he's my guy. I bet him a lot last summer. I played him a lot at DraftKings last summer. Like, legitimately, me, Friday, course, like, field comes out, like, I'm like scouring it. Like, I love Friday at 5. Like, going down, Wyndham Clark, boom, winner. Like, I have the text. Like, I have the fucking text. Like, Wyndham Clark's your winner Friday at 5. And then my best friend, my good friend, PGA Tout, he comes out with his article, Windy C Spotlight. I'm like, it's fucking Windy C. Let's just do it. So yeah, the irons have been popping. He's been playing well. He's really improved his iron play. He said that he likes difficult courses. The number's not great. Again, it's totally chill. All good. But yeah, I'll take Windy C. Again, I guess some reservations. My boy Adam pointed out is that he only has like 2 top 5s on the PGA Tour. He's never really like been in contention. Not a winner.
He's one of the stat guys, man. Like, I don't know. He's better than Aaron Wise. Aaron Wise might be the worst golfer on.
He might be. He's been. He's been bad.
He's terrible. Stat-wise, the stats will tell you that he's amazing. Like, it's one of these anomalies. And Windy C's kind of like that. Like, going through I just put together a little model so I could have something to reference today. He's literally number 1 in my model that I put together. But yeah, he just doesn't actually like ever get close to it.
Lost in a playoff at Bermuda.
Well, that's
literally the worst PGA. So I don't know if you're are you a Gary Woodland guy?
I want to be a Gary Woodland guy so bad.
Like, did you hit him at Pebble or anything?
No, and that was one that I looked back at, and I like looked at my model after the tournament, after he won. I looked at my model, and he was like 3rd. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even like consider the guy who was 3rd in my model on this tournament. Gary is another guy that, like, the stats will tell you that he's the best golfer on tour right now. Best ball striker. I can't do anything on Fantasy National right now without Gary coming up in the top 5. And it's like, but he hasn't really been close, even somewhat. What it will tell you if you look at it like around the green is that he's me basically out there. You might as well be me chipping. Standing over an 8-foot birdie putt, you don't have a lot of confidence. So it's just one of those things. Like, the guy's a world-class golfer. Will it click at some point? Probably.
I'm looking
probably
at the
not.
stats and I'm like, yeah, again, like this is just total gambler's fallacy, like what we do in golf betting. Like, if he just putts like even halfway normally, like he'll do it. Like
Yeah.
he can do it. Like he won here in 2011. I'd maybe in 6th grade. I don't know how old I was then, but it still matters. But the ball striking is unbelievable right now. No one is hitting the ball better. He just cannot chip or putt. But this is
which is important in golf. I don't know if you are aware of this. It's
you
have to be able to chip and putt.
Like, man, like just like having Colin last week, like JT at Bay Hill. Like, it's tough when like they're hitting the ball great and they just can't putt. But then it's like you look at Scotty and he like was neutral putting and he won by like, why did that happen to us? Like,
right.
Why is it so hard to like lose strokes? Like, why can't you just be even? Like, I'm not asking you to gain like 3 or 4.
And that's with so many guys. Like, if you could just be even, right? Make your 4 or 5 footers, make a 10-footer every couple of tries. But like, I've been betting these bozos who miss every single 3 and 4 footer they look at, and it's like, dude, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's tough. Like it's tough. That's why I like betting good. I was watching some highlights before of like random like Tiger victories. Dude just made every putt. Like, just give me like a Tiger at like 50-1. Like, I feel like that should be better. I'm not like for right now, like that my card would be Rose, Windy, Gary, and then like one bomb. Like that would be like all I could fit.
Yeah.
I know you're betting some bombs. So like this range, like 50 to like 80, like, or is there anyone you like just missed? Anyone that like modeled out well for you? You're a Euro guy. Like, can Vic Perez do it? Like, who do you like kind of in like the 50-1 to 100? I know you're not betting any of them.
So Brandon Wu's a guy who's got a lot of talk. He's a high pedigree player. I feel like he's going to do it at some point. The way that I'm kind of constructing my card, it's really 2 guys up top, and then I don't have a lot of room for these middle guys, so I'm probably going to skip there. Vic Perez has my interest because I hit a like 50-1 bet on him pretty recently.
When he beat Minwoo?
I think he beat Ryan Fox in that one.
Okay, yeah, that was over the summer. Yeah. When Ryan Fox was like minus 5,000.
Yeah, and then he hit 19 balls into the water on the last hole.
Yeah, so that was that one after that happened, you were like, I can't complain about a bad beat for a while.
Well, I had Vic and Ryan Fox in that tournament.
Oh, sick. That's sick.
T Dunks was a guy like that was randomly popping.
He's been playing well.
He's been playing good golf. I don't know if I can go there. Will Gordon's another guy who, like, it seems like every week just at one point has a phenomenal round and gets himself like in the mix and then disappears.
This is pretty funny about Brandon Wu. He gained 7 strokes on approach at API and lost 3 putting, and then lost on approach last week.
Actually,
7.
That's a good call, Kyle. I noticed that. I was like, man, if he could somehow bring both parts of his game in 1 week. Yeah, I noticed that. That's a pretty incredible one. Will Gordon, Robbie Shelton's another one, but
he's playing good.
I'm pretty sure Robbie Shelton sucks though. I'm not really
sure.
Yeah,
Robbie Shelton.
So in that range, I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger, but those would be the guys I'd be looking at is like Wu, Perez, Duncan, and Shelton, and Gordon. They have my attention, but I'm not sure the card is going to allow me to slide them in.
Do you like Ludwig? Do you think he could fuck this week?
No. But I do like him.
Okay. Like you can see him like in 3 years, like betting him at like 50-1.
I think so. I think he's a guy that like we need to be aware of. We as golf bettors, like there's so much turnover, right? Like we need to be aware of these young studs, and that guy's been number 1 in like the Velocity Global college rankings or whatever for a while now. So he's clearly legit. Was it Honda that he was like sticking around or hanging
I think he
around
played well at Bay Hill.
Bay Hill. So I mean, clearly, like the guy's got game. I'm not gonna be putting my money on it this week, but like, fuck, man, the guy's good.
Another guy. I know my friend Adam's on it. Pearson Cootie. He played well. At Honda as well.
2 Corn Ferry wins already.
Yeah, and he won one at like -4. So that is that's a development. Might be a nice like top 40 DFS play. My long shot that I bet, he was like the first guy I bet this week. I kind of want your take on it, being an older you're not old, but like just a more established gentleman. The first guy I was like, I'm 100% betting this week is Ben Taylor. Like that was a very easy decision. The dude has 3 top 5s on the PGA Tour this year. He's 150 to 1. T5 at Houston, T5 at Sony, T5 at Honda. Florida guy, like Southeast guy. I just, based on seeing him at the Honda, seeing him at the Honda in Houston, like I'm like, this guy's just like a ball striking bastard. Like you want him in difficult conditions. So I was like hype. I was like, yo, Ben Taylor 150 to 1, like lock it in. I follow him on Instagram. Just, I like to follow golfers on Instagram, going through the Insta stories, like, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, like him at a fucking pool party, like with a high noon. He got fucking married this weekend. Sick. He was boozing.
Well, you always love to see that. That's like, you always see that after they win. You're like, why couldn't somebody have told me that?
No, I feel like a marriage, like he was not practicing golf this weekend. Like I feel like it's a reason to fade. Like where are you on like married weekend before a tournament? Is that fade?
I mean, it seems like it should be, right? Like your mind was pulled in a lot of different directions. Yeah, not a lot of reason to practice. Ben Taylor, that dude is sick with the putter. So that's the thing though. Like if he, ball striking, I feel like, I don't know, when I don't play golf for a month or I don't practice for a month, like I come out and my ball striking is sick.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're just not thinking. And then it's the touch, it's the short game, it's the putting that you lose quicker. So maybe his ball striking is going to be fine.
Let's go.
I don't hate Ben Taylor.
Okay. I'm happy because also like Chad Ramey, he was first round leader at the Players. And he's like, I just had a kid. I haven't even been thinking about golf. Like he said that. Like I feel like golfers randomly play well after random life events. Yep. So Ben Taylor is my favorite play of the week. Ben Taylor, top 40, top 10, top 5, outright. Like Benny T is going to be in the mix this week. I like that he just got married.
I like that. I'm not.
All right. So who are your long shots? Who are your guys 100 plus?
So the bombs I'm looking at, everybody knows I'm a Garrick Higo sucker.
Yeah. So he's on the card?
He's on the card. Okay. He definitely rates out well in a lot of the things.
And he's been popping, man. He's been popping. Well.
He's been playing some pretty good golf. He's an excellent par 5 scorer. I feel like Florida's just been nice to him in general. Like he is playing 3 really good rounds of golf and 1 horrific round of golf just about every time he tees it up. So if we can somehow get 4 of them together, we're going to be in good shape. The guy can win. He's won mostly Birdie Fest, but he won that Palmetto Championship, which he won, I think, in single digits.
Yeah, Diffie C's that week, Hondo.
Yeah, so I like Higo. I'm liking Trey Molinex a lot.
Yeah, I wrote him up top 40.
I like that. I think that Molinex is a lot better player than people think he is. Yeah. His win came at Barbasol, so right, not a difficult test, but he does a lot of the things that I want to see. Right, he's a really good driver of the ball. He's long, and he mostly can keep it pretty straight. I think he's just a better player than like being 100 to 1. And then the other one I was looking at was Dylan Wu.
Okay. Not Brandon Wu.
No, I like both the Wus. I'm a Wu-Tang guy. I like both the Wus, but Dylan seems to be better in like tough scoring. Like he doesn't make a lot of bogeys, hits the ball pretty straight. He's been popping recently, and he's at like triple, 2.5 times the odd of the other Woo, 10th at Honda, and then a 35th at Players. Like
That's
not
all
a
you
lot.
need. That's
Yeah,
all you need.
that's not more you can ask for.
That's
In
all
a
you need
triple digit
for a
guy.
140 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. So yeah, that does it for us for the Valspar. I think we both talked about our guys. Cards will be out tomorrow. First round leader will be out tomorrow. The best bet. And so forth. Before we get into college basketball, I want your opinion on this. I tweeted it out before. Did you see my tweet about the ticket prices for the PGA Championship?
I did. I thought that was
What are your thoughts on that?
Those are expensive tickets. I thought that you were very brave to ask whether you were just broke because
I'm not
Twitter.
like that's the thing. Like I have no expenses. Like,
but it's Twitter. It's Twitter. People are gonna shit on you anytime you open up the the floor to a question like that. But no, dude, those are expensive tickets. This is a golf course. Like there's almost unlimited room. It's not like there's a certain number of seats.
And it's not like going to a football game where you see every second of action,
dude.
And like
that's crazy.
And like I've like gone to I like to go to golf tournaments. Like I enjoy going. But at the same time, it's like from us watching golf on TV every single week, like the group, like on a weekend, like the groups you want to watch, like the groups that you're like sweating, or like the like best groups have the most people following it, and you can't get a good look at every single shot. So for like, again, it's in Rochester. It's like 6 hours away from me. Like it's not even, and it's fucking Rochester. Like it's not like I'm like, it's not like I'm going to like Miami or like some great city. Like Rochester is like not a nice city, like at all. Like no offense. Like I went to school in Buffalo. Like my brothers went to school in Rochester. Like it's so like for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna drive 6 hours. Like I would like to go for 2 days because I'm going up for like. Yeah. For me to spend like $700, I've walked around golf courses for 2 days. Like I've done it. It's not like life changing. Like it's great, but it's not like life changing. And normally I'm spending like $100, like $80. Like that's fine. Like that is totally worth it. But $600 for like 2 days, like I think I might be out. Like I might just not go.
Dude, I kind of feel the same way about it as I do like most NFL games. Like you're going to spend that much money and that much inconvenience to like kind of see some golf. Whereas like you could be at home tracking every single guy that you care about on your computer. You could have 2 screens. You could have the feature groups, whatever. Like the viewing experience at home is free and probably better than dropping. Like you're gonna drop a couple, at least a grand.
At least a grand. Like to go to fucking Rochester. Again, no beef. Crazy. Like no beef. Like crazy. I think I'm out. Like I probably won't be going, to be honest. But
I don't blame you.
Like it's just kind of tough for me right now. I'm a hypocrite, and I guess it's a little bit different, but I paid $350. I'm going to John Mayer tomorrow at MSG, and I paid $350.
Hey, Andy will tell you that's money well spent, dude.
Yeah, like, but I want to see, like, it's a little bit different, like, because it's like a 40-minute train ride.
Sure.
Like, but again, I'm not broke. Like, no one was even saying that, so it's like totally chill. It's fine. But let's get into March Madness. Let's get into the NCAA tournament. Preface this: I am not a college basketball guy. I can name one college basketball player, and I honestly don't even know. The only college basketball player I know is Brendan Miller, who's the guy in Alabama.
Yeah.
Brendan Miller. And the only reason I know him is because he was an accomplice to murder. I don't know anything about college basketball. So again, I'm not, going to say things. But there was a time in our lives where you would feed me Big East winners and they were hitting. Like you hit me with one of those, like, this is a mortgage lock, throw your life on it, and it hit. That's very hard to do. As a degenerate gambler and being in a lot of gambling group chats, like, that's very hard to do. And then, you kind of got cold for a second, and then we just, how have you done since I stopped tailing? Like, how have you been?
Pretty decent. The conference tournaments were pretty good for me. We're getting into a point in the year where momentum means more than anything.
Okay.
Like,
All
you know,
right.
I would point to
Recent form. Shrugs.
like Penn State, you know, made a run to the Big East or the Big Ten championship. And like they were very much a bubble team, but they just caught fire at the right time. So I did well. You know, I'm a Marquette guy, so I was riding Marquette through the tournament. You know, it's tough, man. Yeah, we were hot for a while. We got cold, but the tournament is here, and dude, I'm excited.
All right, East. We're gonna try with South region. Bama 1 seed, Arizona 2 seed. You know that. Like, who from this region absolutely not winning the NCAA tournament? They can only be a 1, 2, or 3 seed. Like, who is like your fade in the South region?
So the South region, Virginia's not winning.
Okay.
Virginia cannot score.
Okay. So
Baylor,
Virginia's a fade.
Yeah, Virginia's a fade. I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see Virginia get knocked out by Furman.
Okay.
I'm
in on Furman.
I'd be really surprised to see Virginia get past the second round, most likely San Diego State.
Okay.
Arizona is one of the most bipolar teams I think I've seen this year. They've thrown up some of the more impressive wins that you'll see, but also some of the more head-scratching losses. So that's another team that, like, you know, could run into a pretty hot either Missouri or Utah State team in the second round, and like anything can happen. Baylor is a team that we've seen a lot recently being very good in the last couple of years, and this year I just don't think they kind of have that same swag. Alabama, though, is a team that I think is very, very tough, very deserving 1 seed, very dangerous 1 seed. So I like Alabama a lot.
So you like Alabama to win this this bracket, this part.
I've got Bama in this region, but I've also got Creighton as the 6th seed making a deep run. I think I've got a Creighton, Alabama Elite 8.
Got it.
Creighton was a team that was expected to be incredibly good early, first rankings of the year. They were like a top 10 team, I believe. And they just kind of like, struggled early, especially in conference play, but came on pretty strong late in the year. What Creighton will do is they will sometimes make every single 3-pointer that they look at, and they'll just fucking light you up for like 20 points in 3 minutes. And it's like, what? They just turn into a buzzsaw, and then sometimes they just turn into some bums. I think it's one of the softer regions.
Okay, so Bama might have a little bit of a crowning.
Yeah.
Do you think Bama can win the national title this year?
I don't have them winning the national championship. Obviously, they could. They've been excellent all year.
Hard stance. Are they winning or not?
They're not going to win.
Okay.
I think it's tough when your absolute best player is a freshman and going through, as you so eloquently put it, being an accomplice to murder. I think that's tough, man. I think that the closer they get, the more the distractions, the off-court distractions will play into it. I don't love them to win it all, but I think that they got a fairly soft draw, so a deep run is available.
Okay, yeah. I again, the basketball gods are not going to let Bama win the natty ship. Nate Oates, he was the prior head coach at UB.
Very good.
Where I went. When I was in college when they went on the run, he left. Fuck Nate Oates, straight up. Fuck.
He's a very good coach.
Yeah, okay. My dad was a better CYO coach. East region, I'm guessing that Marquette is going through to the Final Four. In your opinion, can they do what do you think about Purdue? Like Purdue's the 1 seed. Do you think they can make it to the Final Four, or is Marquette 100% they're making the Final Four? They're your pick.
So yes, I went to Marquette for law school for a time.
So let's just take this with a grain of salt, everybody. Let's just
definitely. I'm a homer for the Big East. I'm a homer for Marquette. I will tell you that Marquette has lost 2 games in calendar year 2023.
Okay.
Those 2 games were at Connecticut, which is a top 15 team, and at Xavier when they were fully healthy, which is a 3 seed, another top 15 team. So they've lost 2 games in the last, call it 3 months. on the road against excellent teams. I think Marquette got the softest draw you could ever imagine.
Sick.
They would draw either Michigan State or USC in the second round, who are both
Frauds.
not very good.
They're frauds.
And then the Sweet 16 game, my guess is probably Providence. I like Providence to come out of that, but the other teams would be Kansas State or Kentucky. They roll all of those guys. And then in the top of that bracket, they would be looking at, you would think Tennessee, meh, Duke coming on strong, but not that great of a team, or Purdue. I don't believe in Purdue at all.
Okay, I'm with you. I don't like them either.
Purdue lost 4 of their last 8 regular season games. I just told you that Marquette has lost 2 games in the last 3 months, and Purdue lost 4, in their last 8. So I think Marquette got the easiest draw you could ever imagine. I think the Big East is the best league top to bottom. People will disagree with me, and that's fine. You're wrong. They won the regular and the tournament, man. They are legit. Whether they win it this year or not, I don't know. They will win it in one of the next 2 years. You heard it here first. I think Marquette's a Final Four team, though.
I'm in. I'm not a bracket guy. I'll be riding Marquette first half. I'll pick them to beat Bama in the Final Four. We got now.
The other thing about Marquette that I'll just throw in real quick is their coach is Shaka Smart, who took VCU to the Final Four. So
boom. I'm not sure what else you want. We got the Midwest region, Houston as the 1 seed. I saw somebody that had did you see this? They had a $5 parlay to win $500,000, and the last leg was Houston at minus 340. And Houston lost, which that sucks. I don't know how I would go on with life after that happened. I know nothing about Houston. 2 seed is Texas. I've never heard about Texas all year, so Texas is a fade for me. Who do you like getting out of here, and who is a fade here?
So Houston's a really dangerous team. They have a lot of experience, and they're excellently coached, and they've been very good for a long time. So they're a deserving number 1, and I believe I've got them in the Final Four as well. So I'm not gonna shit on them or poo-poo on them at all. Texas is another team that's incredibly talented. Lost their coach mid-year with some domestic violence kind of stuff going on.
Basketball gods fade for me.
Right, but they've also rallied around the interim coach. They won the Big 12 championship, the tournament. So they're solid. They had a game early in the season against Gonzaga where they just blew them out of the building, and it was crazy. So very interesting team there. Xavier as a 3 seed is also an interesting team. This is a team that won the NIT last year, returned every player, and has been incredible all year. They are currently without what I believe to be probably their second, maybe they're without a top 3 player, but there's a chance he could come back. And then Indiana is another team that has come on pretty strong the second.
I like Indiana.
Year. Yeah. And I think, most people love the Big Ten. I think it's unwatchable. I think it's rock fights.
What do you think about Maryland?
Yeah, again, it's so Maryland.
Could they beat Bama in the Sweet 16?
I don't even think they're going to get out of that first game.
You think they could? Okay, they could. Okay,
okay. If the game were being played on their home court, sure.
Yeah, they're at home. Okay, they're a fade away from home.
Yeah, so the Mid-East, the Midwest, I mean, in general, I think is full of a lot of teams that have really high upside, but just can also not show up whatsoever. It's a very odd, collection of teams, and I like Houston out of that group. I think Houston and Xavier, especially if Xavier can get Fremantle back, I think that's probably the Elite 8 matchup we're looking at.
Okay. Last region, the West, Kansas 1 seed, UCLA 2 seed, Gonzaga's the 3. So what's up with Gonzaga? They never win the tournament. I haven't heard much buzz around them this year. Oh, you might care about this. Hofstra hit a buzzer beater to tie number 1 Rutgers in the NIT. They're going to
Oh,
OT. Do you
so I do
care?
care about that because, as we can talk about here in a moment, my team, the University of Nevada Wolfpack,
They're your guys.
was the last team to get in, and Rutgers fans are pissed. But you know what?
Okay, got it. Wait, so
Rutgers
what
finished.
seed is Nevada?
We're an 11 seed. We're playing in a playing game against my alma mater.
Are they a hammer?
We are a hammer, but
How many colleges have you gone to?
as you can
3?
see, only 2.
Wait, so then why are you in a? Oh, you're a Nevada
attended,
man because you live in Nevada.
I never attended Nevada, but I
Okay.
grew up 5 minutes away from the campus, and I've been a lifelong fan. I root for Nevada sports over anything. I went to Arizona State and Marquette for undergrad and law school, though.
Okay.
So ASU is playing
Was
Nevada
Arizona
in the
State
first
a
round.
movie?
What's up? Oh,
Was
Arizona State was a good time.
You had fun?
I had a lot of
Like
fun.
pool parties, like hot girls, like booze, like it was a movie?
Those things were all present.
That's sick. That's dope.
It was
That's
fun.
dope.
So we'll get into that one a little bit later, but yeah, I'm happy to hear that Rutgers is struggling in their first round because Rutgers fans.
Bias aside, like who do you think should have got in?
I think Nevada was the deserving team. We were less than 3 weeks ago probably considered a 7 seed.
Oh,
yeah, and we had a very poor finish to the season. We lost probably 3 games that we shouldn't have lost. But I mean, at one point we were looking at like a 7 seed. So I think to at least get into a play-in was the right call. And Rutgers finished 10th in their own conference. Like,
and they're losing to the Shra, dude.
You're like to get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. So, anyways, getting back to the West, which I think is by far the most. I mean, this is the region of death. Like,
okay.
I don't know what the committee was doing with this region. So, I'm a big Ken Palm guy. Most people are. UConn is a 4 seed. They are the number 4 team in Ken Palm in the country. UCLA as the 2 seed is the number 2 in the country. Gonzaga as a 3 seed is the number 8 team in the country. St. Mary's as a 5 seed is the number 11 seed, and Kansas is a 1 seed, and they're the number 9. So the West region, according to Ken Palm, has 5 of the 11 best teams in the country. It's a fucking gauntlet.
So you shouldn't bet any of these teams' future.
Well, you're looking at a really tough path to get to the Final Four if you're betting any of these teams. But theoretically, if you get through to the Final Four, you will have been very much battle tested and proven to be, an elite team. So my national champion actually comes out of this region. That's UConn as the 4.
UConn's your winner.
They're my winner.
They're gonna do it like twice in 10 years.
They had a start to the season that was unlike anything we've seen. They won their first 10 games or something by double digits. They beat Alabama by 18 on a neutral, or 15 on a neutral court. They beat Iowa State by 18 on a neutral. I mean, they just steamrolled, and it looked like, midway through the season, they were clearly the best team in the country. They had a little bit of a lull, but then they came on strong at the end of the year. The Big East Championship against Marquette was arguably the game of the year.
Did they
had a chance to win it? No, they lost to Marquette by 2. They had the ball multiple times with a chance to win down the stretch. And
so UConn, if you could place one bet to win the tournament, it's UConn.
I like UConn a lot. I've got some nice futures on UConn.
What are their odds right now?
I think you can catch like a 17, 18, something in that range. I think you could do worse. They are just very good. They rebound the ball better than probably any team I've ever seen. They've got some shooters. They've got multiple big men. They're just really, really goddamn good.
Love it. I will use this information and fill out a bracket. I'll bet all those teams like, spread. And I'm looking forward to some basketball. Is this like one of your favorite weeks of the year? Are you taking off like Thursday or Friday this week, like for the games or no?
So I will be leaving tomorrow. I actually got a great little week lined up. I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon to go to Phoenix. So I will be heading into enemy territory. Enemy territory. I'm like, I'm literally a Sun Devil.
You're going to live Phoenix?
No, I'm not.
That was a joke.
But I am going to Phoenix, and I'll be landing, about 2 hours before the Nevada ASU game starts.
So you're going to the game?
No, that game's in Dayton.
Okay.
I'm just going to Phoenix because my wife is going to Taylor Swift on Friday. The opening in Phoenix.
How much is she paying, if you don't mind me asking?
For Taylor Swift tickets?
Yeah.
They were like $450 a pop.
That's insane.
Yeah, so she's going on Friday to Taylor Swift. Thursday, I'm doing nothing but watching games in Phoenix. Friday, I'm playing golf in the morning and then watching games. The course is called Wigwam.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out kind of in the outskirts of town, but it is considered to be a top 10 course in Arizona. So it's a nice little course. Yeah, man. And then Saturday, Sunday, we're not doing much. Watching basketball. We'll probably catch a spring training game. Yeah, man.
Sweet. That's awesome. What are the expectations for the round? What are you trying to shoot?
So the course is apparently pretty short that we're playing.
Okay.
I'd like to shoot around 80. I haven't played a lot. I haven't played a lot.
Like just wife and kids work, like just too much.
Yeah, Reno's been getting dumped on with snow, we haven't had the courses open much. I played.
So you can't even play.
No, but I did play 2 rounds in February. Threaded the needle on weather, and I'm hitting the ball well. Great. The short game is a mess. I got no touch right now, but this is a course that I think I can take apart with some low irons. Keep the ball in play off the tee. A lot of hybrid off the tee.
Sick.
I'm gonna tear it apart.
I'm looking forward to it. I would like some updates.
I'll get you some updates.
Yeah. So there's nothing more you could have wanted from TIB tonight. Valspar, golf, basketball, your bracket. Like you're gonna win your leagues after listening. Tonight had it all. So I appreciate you coming on, Luke. I wish you the best of luck with your Valspar picks. I wish you the best of luck with your bracket, with your first half unders. Maybe I'll be tailing. And I hope you have a great weekend of gambling and golfing and drinking. There's really nothing better than those three.
You too, buddy. Bet Nevada on Wednesday against ASU. Okay. That's a hammer. That's a lock.
That's a lock.
Otherwise, let's get it, buddy.
Let's just get it. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you next week for the match play.